What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Upswing Report. How have you been? It's been almost a year since I posted my last video, and in today's video I'm basically going to give you an update of what I've been up to and some things that happened this past year in 2020. It was definitely a year for the books. Before we get into that, stay tuned for a free 30-day Upswing online journey challenge that I'm going to be offering. A link in the bio for that, and then near the end of this video I'm going to get into more details on that. So like the title of this video says, this is the return of Upswing. Now, what have I been doing this past year? So one of the main reasons for taking this long of a break was just to focus on what was in front of me. So I got a quick story. When I started out deciding to be an entrepreneur, a lot of it was just for financial independence, being able to be my own boss, do my own thing, and not feel like I'm a cog in the system. I wanted to have an impact and know I had an impact. Also, I'm not super into bureaucratic like memos, quarter one, quarter two goals, spreadsheets.
Yeah, you apparently didn't put one of the new cover sheets on your TPS reports.
Oh. A lot of the details that I don't really like, and I never really applied them. However, for whatever reason, in the beginning of 2020, I set a very specific financial goal. So my other business has a lot to deal with. Basically, it's kind of like commission, I guess. The more value I provide for my clients, the more I get back in return. So there's not a lot of whole like ceiling for that too. So, and I've been doing well, but I just thought, okay, let's sit down and think of a specific financial goal for quarter one of 2020. And my goal was to do $50,000 in profit in quarter one. And that was a big goal based off of the past years. And so I said, all right, this is gonna be a challenge. And believe it or not, some of this had to do with the market and just how things kind of panned out. But I actually beat that goal within the first 2 months. Damn! So after I achieved that goal, I thought, wow. Again, I hadn't really been super formal with my goal setting and my processes and whatnot. So I basically started studying a lot more of psychology of goal setting, and I ended up reading Simon Sinek's Start With Why, and then that led me to some Tim Ferriss podcasts, and then he was talking about accountability coaching, and so I did some Googling, and I found this really great organization called Commit Action. In their venture-backed business, the guy who started it was a former psychologist, or he is a psychologist, and so he uses a lot of science in his research, and he has a team of coaches that help you every week set goals. And that basically led me to have the best year ever financially. I did over $1 million in top line revenue from all my businesses combined, and that would not have been achievable if I just would have been using what I did in the years past, which is kind of like shooting by the hip and doing okay, but not really, again, having those not fluffy, but really science-based goals and putting those and having those planned out. That really helped me a lot. Allowed me to not operate off of my emotions and not just rely on ego-based business gurus or thoughts in my own head about what I should be doing or not doing. This is a lot of stuff that I'm taking from my own life, and I want to put it into Upswing. I don't want to have hustle culture. I don't want to have ego-based advice. I want to take a lot of psychology tools and science-backed research and apply it to the content moving forward. Ultimately, the goal for Upswing is to help you guys live more fulfilled and more effective and impactful lives. As a part of a holistic, fulfilled life, and another update is I did have a relationship, a long-term relationship. Had tons of fun, had a lot of amazing memories, and even though it didn't work out for the long haul, one important thing I learned from her is just more so about myself. When you have somebody in your life that is that close to you, it causes you to look at your life in different ways. So I'm grateful to have had that relationship as part of my journey. So another part of the holistic part of my life is a spiritual update. So on the spiritual side of the equation, I've always been somebody who is God-fearing and has always kept God as number one, and that's always been a huge part of my life. But especially in the past 6 months, I've applied a lot of taking the spiritual realm and the physical realm and bridging the two and making them interconnect and operating from that place. Here's a little soundbite of that, but it's the present go-getter wins. So what does that mean and how is that spiritual? Well, when you're present, you're basically with your authentic self. You're not thinking of the future, you're not thinking of the past. You're basically thinking of who you are in the most authentic way. And if there's things that you're present with and you don't like, then that's when you can kind of delve down deep and figure out what is it that is there that you don't like, or what is it there that that you do like and you want to double down on. Being present allows you to be really with yourself and who you are and being authentic. And that's something that, especially in today's age with AI and the internet, being able to reach like whomever would connect with your content, I think is extremely important. Not only just with a content creator perspective, but just with really anything. We're in a connected world. So if you can be really truly who you are in a physical and a spiritual sense, you're gonna attract the right people in your life, and the internet allows that to be possible. And a quick note on that, one of my last videos that I shot was with George Zaharoff, and after the camera was off, he basically told me that there's something about your content that for whatever reason is like missing. And he was saying it from a perspective, I was asking him like, hey, can you give me some critiques, because I trust him and I think he's somebody who's been there and is there, and somebody who I'd want to eventually get to in terms of his like life position and what he's done. And he said something along the lines that got me thinking about like being more authentic. And you know, it's kind of like I was unintentionally not being authentic, like maybe presenting myself on the camera in a certain way. And it's a hard thing just to like really truly be who you are, especially in front of the camera, because it's like you want to present yourself in the best way and be energetic and whatnot. But I think, you know, finding out your voice does take a long time. So being present with yourself helps you become that way, and then at the same time being a go-getter of moving forward and trying to get to the next level. So I think when your spiritual and your physical connect, you can really be present in an authentic way, and then that helps you to have the baseline so that you can move forward and go after your goals and your dreams. The present go-getter wins. So that's a lot of my updates. I'm pumped to be sharing my journey with you guys. As for content commitments for this year, I don't have any just yet. The one thing I am curious is to hear your thoughts on what kind of content that you'd want to see, whether it's some of the stuff that I mentioned in this video, whether it's just business stuff, fashion stuff, lifestyle stuff. As long as it's upswing related, then I'm obviously down for it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts right now on what you'd want to see. One thing I am going to do, as long as there's enough interest, is to invite you to join the waiting list for Upswing's very first 30-day virtual journey challenge. Right now, the idea is to cap it at 12 people, but what we're gonna do is, as a group, we're going to use science-based goal setting and achievement principles, a lot of the psychology stuff that I've been learning, and apply it to a specific goal for 30 days. And we're gonna have weekly check-in calls. We're gonna have a Facebook community set up, and then we might even have 1 or 2 guest speakers just to get you guys in the zone and thinking the right thoughts. One thing I do wanna say is if you need motivation or you're not in the place where you're able to make commitments, then this is not for you. Before we go, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what you learned in 2020. So go ahead and leave a comment below and let me know what was your biggest takeaway for 2020. All right, that is it for today's video. It's been a minute, so I feel like I was pretty rusty on recording this, but it does feel good to get one of these out. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you like the video, subscribe as well. And last, again, if you're interested in the 30-day challenge, go ahead and click the link in the description and fill your information out, and you'll be on the list. All right, everybody, peace and love, and keep it upswing.